this is an attempt to start to really build this out and be more of a more intuitive and broader integrated referral system that we could use it across workNet for many different types of programs. So, oh, and look at there, Natasha. Perfect segue your background. So I don't know,
Exactly.
Kelly. And then just for awareness too, sorry, you know, you have a system of core partners that are working on not technology, but coming together around what does some common referral principles and practices look like. So that's also something that we're working on. And then I don't know, Kelly, if you want to add anything, or Laura.
No, I'll just add that we did host a breakout session on referrals, talking about just process, not systems. And that was at the WEOS Summit. So if you still have access to your WOBA app or website, please feel free to take a look at that PowerPoint. We know that, each of your local areas, have a referral process in place. Some of you do have systems. And so we really want to look at this at the state level of how we can better support and broaden referrals through a system. So as Lisa mentioned, we have many different programs, right? And so how do we leverage those programs and support and really looking at integrating a referral system that's broader than just individual programs. So again, feel free to take a look at that PowerPoint. I think you can kind of, there's some good strategies. There's also some good best practices that you can implement at the local level.
And this session is also being recorded, so this will be on the IWDS content page either later today or sometime tomorrow. So if you need to go back and reference something, that'll be there for you. And if anybody wasn't able to attend today, it'll be there for them as well.
All right, well, thank you. So as was previously mentioned, we do have a variety of referral system tools that were developed for specific programs. And what we did was, take some of the best practices that came out of that development, and then also, collected feedback from the field as to kind of what their systems do and what they would want in a system, and put that information together in this mock-up. And the main purpose, again, is to have a place where you can share, like send a referral, and everything's associated with that customer's one account. So you have a central place to review, send referrals, review referrals. You have the consent forms, the referral responses. They're, with that customer's information. And we can use that for, various reports and filtering and so forth. As was mentioned before, we have the referral tools. It'll be built as a standalone referral system, but those modules will be integrated into existing reporting systems such as like CJA, JTED, and so forth. So this is a mock-up. So this is what we call a wireframe. Some of you may be familiar with them, but this is, just kind of like an outline of what the referral system, the referral page will look like. And then this example, it says it's for the CJA reporting tools. And so from a customer page, once you're in those reporting tools, you can add a referral. You can see a referral history. I'm going to kind of zoom in on this a little bit. This is something that we use for our SNAP ENT program. This format, which just worked out nicely. We have the higher level that kind of gives you the overview of the overall summary of what is going on with that referral. And then you can expand it out and you can see the details of when things happened and the dates and the details that are associated with that, the back and forth conversation with that referral. We have the referral consent. We already have a referral consent. One of the, for one of our programs, one of the comments that or suggestions that was provided was that we allow for the career planner to indicate that the customer has provided verbal consent. So that's one of the things that would be part of it. With the consent, it's basically the consent is active for a year. And if, once that year's up, you can renew the consent. At any point in time, the customer can revoke consent as well. We're taking a step back a little bit to look at it from the lens of a standalone system. So with the standalone system, one of the requests was that we have it available through the Illinois workNet partners area, but then also to provide a custom URL. So for example, it could be, illinoisworknet.com/referrals. I'm not saying that's what it is right now, but that's what something like that it could be. And then the partners and the programs are already set up into the system. That would be set up through the service locator, and we can take a look at some of those details in a little bit. But those would pull in, so that set of information of all of our partners and their locations and the services that they offer, and if they're accepting referrals, would be pulled into the referrals, the module, and you could search by the provider name, programs, services that are offered, if they're accepting referrals, and then by location. So you can see the various referrals, you can search and export them. Some of the information that would be included, let me zoom over here a little bit, is to have, provider information, program information, eligibility criteria, and then the services that are being provided by that provider and program, and then the contact information. This information is part of, right now would be part of the standalone module. So this contact information wouldn't necessarily, unless everyone thinks it should be, displayed to the general public, but it would be used primarily for the referral, who would receive the referrals, and then the secondary person that would receive the referrals. And then, so you could search for your services or your providers and programs that offer those services. You find someone, you click it, you view the program, and then you hit create referral. So once you create a referral, we have a form, depending on, where you access this information from. If you're accessing it from just a general space and you weren't already working with the customer, you could either, add the customer in real time, or you can select from a list of customers. The customer information would be at the top. We have the ability in these in the mock-ups, we have it displayed to show that you can show more PII if you are the person that's sending the referral. And then in our mock-up, you'll see in just a few moments that we limit some of the information, the PII, that would be seen by the person receiving the referral. If you were coming at this and you had selected who you wanted to send it to, it would pre-populate with that name. If you were coming into it just into the referral system, you could select which provider that you wanted to send this to, the program. It would automatically populate the different types of services that are offered by this provider and this program. And you would just do the check marks on the different types of services that this particular person needs. And then, or you're requesting, we have the option to add other notes. Oops, sorry. Trying to get this in here so you can see it a little bit better. But we have, we've used this in the past. We used it for our Snap ENT tools, where you can pre-set up appointment times. That is optional. If you do have appointment times set up already in the system could pull in those times for that particular program, and you choose one of those times, and it kind of like reserves your spot for that time. And then you'll see we have the customer consent. If they already have an active customer consent, that would be shown here and show you when it was active. If not, if you didn't have an active customer consent, you can just indicate that, you know, you want to complete the customer consent. And when you do that, it would be a modal with, you know, text about the consent, the terms, and then a place for the career planner to indicate that the customer has said that they provided verbal consent for those to share the referral. And then you could print the referral. Are there any initial thoughts or comments on what we've covered so far? Okay. So what happens next? So the person has completed the referral, they send the referral, and we have a variety, we have different partners and different scenarios that we've encountered with these past programs. So some of our partners are going to be in workNet and actively working in workNet. And for those types of partners, you know, they have their Illinois workNet account, they can get in, they can log in and look at their dashboard. They can access the sent referrals. They'll be able to see that, you know, you have 5 referrals that need addressed type thing. But then we have some partners that they may never log into workNet, and that's okay. But what'll happen is when a referral is sent, an email is sent to that primary contact and primary and secondary contact, and then they will get an email that basically says, you know, you have you know, a referral has been sent. Please review this within X number of days, and it'll say, you know, this, here's the link to the consent or to the referral. They'll click on the link to the referral, and then they can complete the referral. So they can complete this entire process with never logging into Illinois workNet, the person that's receiving the referral. And then also we'll have an area where the customers can review referrals that have been sent within their own Illinois workNet account. So a referral has been sent. So now they receive the referral. The partner that receives the referral will have a display that has less PII up at the top. What we have here, what's been suggested, is the person's name, their phone number, email, and then also to indicate if they're a veteran. And then let me zoom in over here a little bit. The person that receives this will see who the referral is from. So the provider, program name, program, contact information, and they'll see who it was sent to. And again, you know, the contact information for this person, and that they have the active consent. If they have an appointment time, they would see the appointment time. Oh, darn it. Then they can see the services requested. So in this case, they said that they need transportation services. And then the person that has submitted the referral, they could put additional text in here, but it's not required. And then, so the person reviews this information, they could go to the appointment, talk to the person. Once they have opened this up, And they can see that the referral has been received. So this is confirmation receiving partner has reviewed the record. And then we have other statuses, attempting contact. And these were based on feedback, I believe. We had some feedback from wheel 1 and 7. And the idea was to try to keep it simple. And so we wanted to use their experiences with how they had to like define like the sent and the different statuses so that we could have it so that everybody's clear on the types of statuses without it being overwhelming and, you know, consuming and, you know, just something that they're just not going to keep up with. So what we have here, you can see attempting contact. They have the definition, referral in progress, referral completed, referral closed. And again, you can put the notes in here and then submit the response. And then you can print the referral. And so once they submit the response is saved in the system and the partner dashboards are updated based on the referral status. And again, the customer can view their updated referral information in the account. So just take a moment. I want to pause and to ask if anyone had any questions. I see there are a couple of things in chat. Oh, but these were. Okay, I see one question here. Let me just take a moment. If local areas want to track the referrals they give to customers and agencies, good.
Oh, that was me, and Lisa answered it. Thank you. And you actually answered it yourself, I think.
Okay.
Once I joined the meeting a couple minutes late, so I was like, I didn't know if you already said that, but as you were explaining it after I typed the question, I was like, okay, now I know what she's talking about. So, and then thank you, Lisa, also for confirming that. Thank you. I didn't know if it was limited only to partners that, you know, use Illinois, that are also registered, that use Illinois workNet, you know, like our state partners, you know, IWDS, DHS, or if we could, if we wanted to use it to track, you know, our own local ones. So it sounds like we would be able to do referrals to entities that we set up from in the new IWDS 2.0 when we create entities. It sounds like that is a yes then.
Yes. Yep. Most definitely.
So just real quick, and not to get too far off topic, but about the entity management piece, that's actually, while it's being developed for 2.0, it will really be an entity management for all of DCEO workforce programs. So it'll, you know, JTED organizations will be in there. Illinois Works organizations might be in there. You know, CJA organizations will be in there. So, you know, it'll be like one big, and it's probably not the proper term, but one big like database for all providers that we work with. And it's going to be, you know, become like part of the service locator as well. So.
No, that makes sense. I mean, so you're not reinventing wheel or having to create, you know, another directory for another component or another project in Illinois workNet. That makes sense to me to have it. Yeah, like it's to have it all just one big hub.
Yeah, and it'll be nice too, because then it also gives you know, providers, you know, like you all that have multiple grants, like if you have a JTED grant or a CJA grant, you'll also, you know, just have one system where you can see all of your participants and see them by the program level. So, which makes the referral a nice added feature. So circle back to referral. Hey, Natasha, Al has a question about frequency.
Yep, I saw that. Thank you. So we do have a yeah, an area like I can think on one of these that like we can if you are looking at this, because the question was, once an email is sent but the period of time goes by with no activity with referral, do we email again? If so, what frequency? I will answer not the frequency yet, but the how different things that we have learned from our existing processes or existing tools. One of the things that we did add in this particular case is that we could have it say resend referral, but we changed it to request provider update. So if they haven't responded, you can request provider update to resend it, so that they'll complete it to start out with. Or if you just see that, they've stayed in attempting contact for too long, and what is defined as too long, you could request them to update this. And then the other thing was on frequency. That would really be, by the guidance of, policy, I guess, on or best practice. I'm not really sure. In the past, I can't remember if it's like 2 days or if they need to respond within like 2 business days or something like that. One of the things, let's just pretend that's what it is. But let's say that, you sent the request and so it shows in your dashboard as being sent. And then if it goes, say it's 2 business days, but now you are at 3 business days, we could have it flagged as this one needs attention because it has not received a response within the given time period. So that's how we use our dashboards, is to flag things that are outside of response times that have been defined. But as far as frequency, I don't know, does somebody else from the local area have, or DCO have any feedback on frequency or response times?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that we've received, kind of in general feedback from local areas that we've spoken with that have a referral system and have shared feedback up to this point has been, common practice has been 2 business days. So that's been standard expectations that have been set and established at the local area. So I guess we'd like to hear from each of you that are on the call. Does that seem to be common for each of your local areas, that that's the expectation when you are making referrals, that it's 2 business day for response time?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, or if you don't want to say at the moment, want to look into that, then that's fine. Like I said, we'll send out a follow-up email with a form, and actually let me write down that question specifically and I'll make sure it's added.
Yeah, some radio silence there. I didn't want to speak for my my colleagues, the career planners and coaches, but yeah, when the survey comes out, we'll definitely ask them. I mean, there's that balance of like, kind of the business etiquette of like, give somebody a day or 2 to respond. And if it's a bigger agency or, where they're kind of, they're very backlogged, or just overloaded, you might, it's kind of subjective, we might like now how we do it now, where it's, we might give, maybe a few days, like, okay, well, or if it was something like on a Friday, it's like, well, maybe they won't see it until Monday or Tuesday. But I mean, 2 would be great. And I mean, it's, a lot of times I would imagine it also depends on the urgency of the referral. I mean, if it's somebody that's looking for, that needs, like homeless assistance, or someone with a disability, and you're trying to get them maybe to rehabilitation services or something, or if they have a more, the exigency is higher, they have a more urgent need, then obviously we'd love to be able to hear back and get that customer connected with that agency, in one day if possible. But so yeah, I guess there's a couple factors to consider. But yeah, I can definitely ask, our people, career planners and navigators, kind of on the front line as to like what the normal response time is that they've been getting, and then what they would prefer to set as far as like a reminder of, when to ping somebody back.
Sounds good. I know I see that OS 17 said their referral system automatically resends emails after 7 days of no action. So automatically resending something is an option we could consider as well. Okay, thank you. Let's see. So we so then, okay, so we have the information in the dashboard. We received a response. And what we wanted to do as well, zoom out of here just a smidge, is to be able to provide, and I don't have all these in this PowerPoint, but a dashboard, like I said, so you can identify easily, things that have been sent. At a glance, you could see, things that need to have follow-up, basic counts on, where the referrals, like different types of services or where they're going, how many have been submitted for your particular organization. And then the other part was we would have a customer referral search. So like, if for all of your referrals that you've sent for your organization, you could search them by customer name, who, probably be referred from you, but it would be referred from your organization. But you could look at it as like, if you had multiple programs, you can say, I want to see only the referrals that were sent from my organization for CJA. You could put that level of detail in there. You can see the same thing, who's been referred to, what programs they've been referred to, the status, the referral status obviously would match up to what's on the referral form. The referral initial sent date. So you can see what we have here is past 70, 30, 60, 90, 80 past year. And then when it was last updated. And we have just a bar here for advanced search. Doesn't mean that we necessarily have anything identified yet, but if we needed additional search criteria features, we could add that there as well. Ooh. And so one of the things that, as we're working through this process and thinking through, what are some of the things that you might want to get from this particular page, is that I could see that, David has, this referral, and, Esther has these 2 referrals. If I want to look at something very specific for this line item as a referral, I could click on view history, so I could see what's going on with that referral. That referral plus all the threads that are associated with it. But if I just want to say, oh, I want to go to Esther and I want to see that anything that, all of Esther's referrals, then I could click on the name, and then you would go to that particular customer's referral page, and then you would see, like all the referrals, all the consents, and that sort of thing. The provider program list, we looked at that at the very beginning. And then the reports, some of the things that we've received a feedback on different types of reports with visuals, like incoming referrals, outgoing referrals this week, referrals accepted, average response time, and then some example reports, incoming, outgoing reports. So, and who's receiving those referrals, where the referrals coming from. So, if you have feedback on specifically on, different data points that you would want to have included in a dashboard or in a search or in reports, please let us know. And again, you can put them in here in the chat, or you can include them in the feedback form. Let me see. Let me look at the chat here. Okay. Okay. All right. So this just basically shows some of the things I've talked about. You can see a dashboard to see the different statuses for each. The follow-up is recorded, so you can see that history, that thread that goes along with that entire referral. Then both partners would be able to access that same information from their dashboard. One of the points I did want to mention is that they wouldn't be able to access more than what we say that they're going to access. So for example, if you're maybe you're doing this from a special program, so you have all kinds of program information related to that individual, but you're going to send the referral to a partner and ask for, I don't know, housing assistance. And so you send that to the partner. The only thing that that partner is going to be able to see is the information that's related to that particular referral. They're not going to be able to see all their other assessments and any other type of like program information, unless the rules are set up to say that that has already given them access. So unless otherwise specified, the only thing that they get to see is the information that is specifically in the referral and the referrals that are related to them. Okay. So we touched on this a little bit, or I believe Lisa did, is that when we are setting up our partners and programs, we wanted to do this within the service finder because we're already collecting a lot of information there anyway. And then that information would be used to populate the referral system, either at the integrated module or the standalone system. And so based on how you answer some of these questions, you'll be required to, if you are just for different types of, if you're like a certain type of site, you may not be asked to answer more questions. And if you're like a WIOA site, then you'll be asked to answer more questions. And that all that's already set up in the service finder. But for this particular example that I have on this page, you can see they have basically all the tabs. So this one, they're putting everything in there. And we already have a tab here called referral information. And so what we wanted this to be is, it's still the same process as if when you're filling out the service locator, you walk through that process as it is set up. But then as you start adding your programs and your information into the system, then we'll build out this summary basically where you can see your program name, if you're currently accepting referrals, give you the ability to add appointment times for these particular programs from this page. And then you can see when it was last updated, or if you want to go in and edit the program information. And then the next area is that, zoom in here, because my screenshots are real large, so I had to make them kind of small on the screen here. We have an area called special programs. And so it was set up a long time ago, but just wasn't really utilized that much. And so we want to expand on that part of the tools that we have. So for example, if you have like Friendship Illinois, Climate Works, Online Works, JTED, any of those programs that we have, we can have those in here, and we would know if you're already in that program because we already have that relationship. So that could be, some of this information could be automatically populated, so with the program name, description, and those sort of things. But we would have the ability to let others, if they had a different program that you wanted to enter into the system, and you would, enter the program name, program description. See if I can zoom in here. I'll go up a little bit. And then you would enter the program name, description, is it active, is it accepting referrals, with the ability to identify if they're like, you want to identify funding source. We have some of these areas where they're like target populations, so you could identify those. We have some things in the system that are already in there, for like example, for like eligibility, for if you have adults, you could choose the min and max age, same with youth, min, max age. Some of the things that we would need to be adding because of the various programs that are offered are, if you're authorized to work in the United States, meeting selective service requirements, low income, moderate income, high school diploma, or other. So doesn't mean you have to check all these, of course. You just choose the ones that impact eligibility. And then you can choose other, just to show, select all the other things that we might not be covering. We have the ability to identify the counties that are that this program can serve. And then what we would plan on doing is using our existing set of services that are in the service finder. And these are the main categories that we already cover in the service finder. There's quite a few. So if this program only offers 3, they would just select the 3 that are offered by that program. And when you, you'd add those services, and then those would be used to populate the referral tool. So if you only offered 3, you wouldn't see the entire list. You would only see those 3 that are connected with that program, with that provider. Any questions or thoughts, feedback? Okay, well, that's what I have for today as far as, the different mock-ups that we wanted to show you. We can follow up, like I said, with the form, and that form will include, the different mock-ups so that you can have them within the form and get to zoom in and see them, and then you can submit your responses. I don't know if Lisa or Kelly have any other closing comments?
No, I don't have any. I think this was a good overview, and I really look forward to hearing everyone's feedback on, are we going in the right direction with this? What kinds of things do you think we're missing or can add to enhance what we're already doing? So I appreciate everyone's time.
Yeah, thank you. And I know that we gave a lot at once. So as Natasha shared, like you can kind of take a little bit deep dive, get some feedback, from your local area. And we want to hear from you, right? Like, so we can build out a system, but it's only good as the buy-in and utilization of our partners and our providers. So I know that each of you have a different process. Some of you have systems in place, but again, we really want to look at equitable access among all of our DCO grantees in local areas. And so that's really the intent of this is, how do we have the infrastructure that's in place so everybody has access to a referral system. So again, please, take a look, take a deep dive, and, don't hesitate to reach out. And we want to hear from you. We want your feedback. What's on your wish list? What would be amazing? Well, those are all great things that we want to hear. What doesn't work well too, right? Like what are some different challenges? So, what's not working is important to know too.
Absolutely.
And one of those things that we've noticed just by talking to some of the people that have referral systems is that just even the referral statuses seem simple and straightforward, but that was an experience that they had to go through to really, nail that down. It wasn't just as easy as what they thought. So if you have other areas that, it seems pretty simple until, you need the information or you're trying to implement it, if we can learn from any of those lessons, we'd appreciate that as well.
Yeah, and I would just also encourage you, as you're thinking about this referral system, kind of to our earlier comment about the entity management and how this plays, think about this in terms of any other grants or programs that you have. Like, I think I thought I saw LWIA 3 is on here. So, I know you guys have had a JTED grant in the past. So just thinking about functionality in general, for you all to operate, multiple programs and the ability to be able to work smartly through those programs seamlessly, I think would also be helpful too.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I look forward to hearing your feedback.
Natasha, there was a question if the PowerPoint slides would be on the project page. Is that something you're okay with us uploading?
Sure.
Perfect. Yep. Then yeah, Rory, we'll get that added for you. All right. I believe that is all that we had to cover today. I know I don't have anything to cover, and Al, Lynette, do you have anything you want to discuss while we're here? Or are we good to give everybody some time back?
No, the presentation was good. So it was good. I can't wait to read up a little bit more about the presentation and really actually doing it to get a really good understanding of it. But all in all, this was a great presentation, Natasha. That was great. So thank you for taking the time and educating us all.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And we will give you an hour and 15 minutes of your day back.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't
Thank
happen
you.
often. Have a good